everyone. Welcome to Sunspot for the week of November the 22nd, 2021. I'm Scott Brooks of the Waxahachie Sun, and as usual, my friend and former mayor, current council member, best hair in Waxahachie, what else can we say? Crazier than can be. David Hill is with me. So we're happy to be here, and thank you for joining us. We have a few items on our agenda today, and then want to share with you all an announcement at the end about next week's show. But David, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Good to be here, be up, moving.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
It's amazing. It's almost Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
Yes. So a couple of weeks ago, we talked a little bit about what I guess morons like me call industrial complex, which makes it sound really kind of like it fit for a movie, you know, or FBI spy kind of industrial complex. Sounds kind of weird, but it's a business park that the city is working on, and I'm going to let David fill you in on the details, but I just want to give an update on progress there, and anything else that you want to share about it.
It was in the paper, did y'all?
Yeah, we covered it, yep.
So everybody kind of, if they read the Sun, if they didn't, they should get the copy.
That's right.
But it's a large area across from Baylor on the west side between Patrick and I-35, but what we don't have in Waxahachie is a shovel-ready business park. Mm-hmm. We've always wanted one. Everybody's always said you need one. And we have businesses all the time that call that need a space, maybe 50,000, 200,000, or 500,000 square foot space.
Right.
And we don't have a facility like that. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what the development is going to be about, having enough land and infrastructure in there to sustain those kind of businesses.
Where's the closest one that you know of? I mean, is it toward Mansfield,
well, I mean,
maybe?
If you drive up 35, there's Wayfair and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, but those are 500,000 square feet.
Right.
Warehouses, truck dock height, warehouse shipping, and but we're really not looking for a lot of trucking as much as we are just for different businesses to come to Waxahachie. So if we can get a place that's ready, utilities are ready, accessible, then they'll come.
So
we don't have to develop it and build the buildings. We just get the pads or the area. I mean, if you can get utilities to it, you're pretty close to getting it done.
So where would you say it is in the process, if there is a process?
Well, we've looked at the site plans. We've met with the owners and developers. Right now, we're trying to get some stuff approved with one of the landowners to get access and easements to get water over to that side of I-35.
Right, and so with respect to the comments that are made about people in Settlers Glen and in that area, obviously not precautions, but walls and such would be built in order to keep it quiet.
Yeah, and that, I mean, they have legitimate concerns. Marshall is not Marshall is just a little 2-lane road that comes past Settlers Glen off of 664 going toward 35. It dead ends at Patrick.
Yeah.
So this development will put in a 4-lane from Patrick to 35. And so 90% of the traffic, or 99%, should come out of Marshall onto 35 rather than going the other way through Settlers Glen. There's still going to be some noise, but they could put a sound deadening wall up. I think we've got a 100-foot buffer. It'll be green space, trees, shrubs, which will help. I don't know if it'll mitigate all of the concerns, but we're taking them into consideration.
Yeah, we need one of those right here, obviously.
Yeah. We talked about that the other day.
We did. Yeah. Oh, you guys did?
Well, no. We did a study on we talked about a quiet zone.
Yes.
And I pulled a quiet zone out the other night and set up in the attic and read it again. And in 2010, it was about $4.5 million.
Oh, yeah.
We had it estimated, and it's about $9 million to do it today's money. But it's still, it could be done if there's an appetite to spend that kind of money.
Right.
In my mind, if you could, I mean, at 2:14 in the morning when the train comes through at my house, I'm up.
Yeah.
At about 4:18. I got a digital clock. I just hate. So I know when he comes, and I'm up and shaking my fist out the back door
Yeah.
at him
Right.
because he woke me up again. So if he's waking me up, he's waking everybody up all the way down through town.
Right.
And you get over past Kaufman and that area over there where the houses are within
Yeah.
20,
Yards.
20 feet
Yeah, right.
of the edge of that track, and he comes through there.
Right.
And you know what's going on there.
I can't
if it's
imagine.
happening in my house.
Yeah, I mean, that track is probably maybe a football field away, maybe
Yeah.
further, 2 football
Yeah.
fields away from here, and we can hear it.
Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah.
So I can't imagine being
But
right
that
on
doesn't
top
have
of it.
anything to do with the business park.
Yeah, right.
But it is interesting to
example
know
of
that,
sound.
that we have plans for it. It's been designed, and if we're ever a way to get any funding to do that, I would be leading the charge to do that. I don't know if anybody else would, but
Good.
so
Okay. All right. Very good. So there's an update on the business park, which I think Waxahachie definitely needs. It'll mean jobs and opportunities for people. I think the city's smart enough to be able to do it right and, again, mitigate most of the problems that would be in the hearts and minds of those living here.
well, yeah. But, I mean,
affected by
it should. The whole idea of it is not to bring in low-paying jobs.
Right.
The idea is to bring in above livable wage, obviously. But if you get medical in there, even if it's IT, if it's a chip supplier, medical supplies, light manufacturing like that. But like I said last time, it's not going to be carbide or Monsanto chemical or
Right.
anything with a smokestack
Yeah.
and toxic
Yeah.
to the community. So
Okay. Very good.
okay.
All right, a topic of discussion, maybe, I don't know when that was, 4 months ago, maybe, with respect to the new annex and
Yes.
naming it after Chuck Beatty has kind of died down. I don't know that I'll really ever want it to die down, but I recognize that people are just people and
Going on.
go through different steps and thought processes. But is there any more going on, or has there been anything going on with respect to naming any building, sports complex, whatever, after Chuck Beatty at this point?
You always hear people talking about sports complex, and they talk about Penn Park, they talk about swimming pool and things like that.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they try to associate that with the sports past. You know, he was played with the Pittsburgh Steelers and
Yeah.
the Boy Scouts and such as that, so affiliated with them. So in my mind, if it wasn't good enough for the annex,
Right.
is this second, third tier stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to honor somebody, and then everybody says, well, we don't want to honor them that much. So I haven't heard another word.
Okay.
It's just been kind of quiet right now, and they've gone on to other things.
Yeah, so the idea is to really identify people who have made contributions to this community in ways that are rare and usually unduplicated. There are a few people in the past that are worthy of that. There are a few people that are worthy of it now, and Chuck's one of them. So my hope is that we don't get caught up in political, silly stuff and overlook what we should be doing for those who are worthy.
Kind of sad.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Yes.
So here we are, we just finished, the last election cycle we went through was the John Ray, Brian Harrison race, which ended was it in October or September? It was sometime, late September, early October is when that race finished. And no sooner than we take a breath from all the election cycles of 2021 to before we blink, or as we blink, it'll be 2022, February, and not applications, but what do you call those? I guess application,
Yeah.
or filings
Yeah,
for
yeah,
city
filed
council
City council.
will be required, I think, mid-February, and we'll start the cycle all over again. And what will be, my guess, will be probably some excitable times. So for city council, you're up for re-election, Melissa Olson's up for re-election, and Doug Barnes, the mayor, is up for re-election.
Right.
And don't want to put you on the spot. You can say what you want about what you're going to do, but here it comes again. And I just want our viewers to be aware that, again, we've gone through some weird, strange, tiring, fatigable, if that's a word, election cycle this year.
It is now.
It is now, for sure, yeah, that word, fatigable. And here we go again. So
Yep.
my hope is that those running, and I know a few of you, I know you very well, and know that you will, if you decide to run, will be top-notch and above board and all that sort of thing. And I hope that those who decide to run again, who've made some missteps in the past, will get their act together. Any thoughts on all of that?
Well, yeah, I always have thoughts, but
Yeah.
my signs are still in the garage. Every day when I walk in, I still see them sitting there, and I'm thinking, do I really want to put them out again? Should have left them out, and that way you don't have to. I mean, it just seems like it just keeps coming. It's a 2-year term,
Right.
and it seems like it goes so fast.
It does go fast.
So even with the COVID and everything in the last term that we had, we went 1.5 years before we had to have an election because
Right.
we had to extend the terms because of COVID.
Yeah.
And here we are again, just a few months later,
Right.
getting ready to fill out applications and go out and get 25 signatures and file your paper.
Yeah.
But obviously I still feel good. If I didn't feel good, my health wasn't where it needs to be, I wouldn't consider it, but I'm going to go ahead and run again. I'm sure Doug will run. Melissa will probably run.
Yeah.
So, and there'll be people that will come and challenge those seats, and that's elections. And
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. So you don't know. Well, that said, I do know of some that have already said they are running. We'll wait until they make their own announcements before we share that. But we know that there will be all 3 of those, I think, seats, including yours, obviously, will be contested, particularly given what some lame-brained folks did a few months ago with respect to trying to censure you for supporting your friends, Chuck and Mary Lou, who just happen to be Democrats, but that's irrelevant at this point, or at any point when it comes to city politics here. So. But the Sun continues its efforts to make sure that we expose and show and reveal and share as much as we can about any candidate running for office. We will do that again in 2022 for sure.
Yeah, and you don't know. I mean, the statements that were made against me said that they were going to get somebody to run against me.
They were going to primary you, and
Yeah,
what is a race that doesn't have a primary?
We don't have a primary, so I'm waiting for that one.
Right.
But I'm sure they're trying to find somebody out there someplace that they can get in. But there's people saying the same thing about Doug, same thing about Melissa Olson.
Right.
So while everybody thinks that somebody's not unbeatable, all you got to do is watch.
Yeah.
And you'll see in the past the ones that we thought couldn't get beat got beat.
Right.
The ones that we least suspected were victorious. So it's a matter. I've been on city council for 8 years. This is my 8th year. Mayor for 2 years, mayor pro tem. Right. And in that time, I think we've done a great job in the city. Have we made everybody happy all the time? No, we haven't. Can we make everybody happy all the time? No, we can't.
Right.
So knowing that, have we done the best that we could do with what we had? And I think we've done exceptional.
Yeah, I think the
I
city.
have no regrets whatsoever. And any vote that I've made, I can go to any vote and tell you, or I can go show you what that vote did.
Yeah, speaking of votes, I think, as I've said before, given that this is an independent city or a nonpartisan city by charter, if I invited those who want to make it partisan or believe that they could look at somebody's vote and determine what political party they come from with respect to the city, I challenge anybody out there to come sit right here with me. We can put up the voting records of all city council people, attach no names to them, and then let the person who believes that partisanship exists, they can tell me which of those voting records is Democrat or Republican. I'd bet my mortgage that nobody could identify any political party associated with the voting records of, if not all, most everyone on city council.
Yeah, the only issue that they would ever, it's taxes.
Yeah.
So we could vote yes on any other thing throughout the term, But if we vote yes to maintain the tax rate, that's wrong.
Yeah.
We need to lower the tax rate.
Right.
The people that say that have no idea what's going on as far as infrastructure and the cost of that maintaining those things. They don't know the city budget. They're not in the workshops. They don't visit. They don't come to council.
Right.
All they know is that you did not lower our tax 2 cents.
Yeah.
So and you can't sit down long enough and talk to enough people to explain to them what that does to the city now in present time, as well as going forward in the budgeting system. With the decline of infrastructure and then the decline of sales tax, how do you maintain?
Yeah, I think despite those who continue to want to make the claim that a no new revenue budget is good for the city and for the citizens, remember that old AMCO commercial, pay me now or pay me later?
Yeah.
That's exactly what a no new revenue budget would be for the city. It's either we pay the taxes that are reasonable now, or we fall for this silliness of no new revenue budget and we pay big time later. And big time means infrastructure issues, flight, people leaving, lack of business coming here, economic downturn, that kind of thing. It's irresponsible, and I hope that people will catch on to that. We're going to do our best in making sure people understand what that means. So I just want to say to candidates that are going to be running, we love having an open line of communication with you. I think we have shown in the past, particularly in 2021, that we are willing to go as deep as we need to on candidates who are playing games in order to get elected. We had a gentleman sit right where you are, a little bit different setting, but stormed out of an interview after getting a little rambunctious. We caught another candidate removing signs, which we'll have a follow-up story on soon with respect to that candidate, Paul Christensen, and the sign gate, if you will. So we'll be sharing not only the story, but the actual documents that have come out of Hill County about that. So that update will come in the next few weeks. You'll be interested, I think, to see what the results of that are. So we want to make sure that we give every candidate, pardon the pun, but the sun's light of day, and share with our readers what is going on, what the candidate's about. I don't think many people have too many questions for you, although thousands of people have moved here that in just the past year, 2 years, that wouldn't know about your history here. So there's always this, in a growing community, there's this necessary retelling of things.
Yeah, we're 1,000 houses a year in the last 5 years. That's 5,000 homes.
Right.
3.2 people per house. That's 15,000 people.
Yeah.
That all they know, they moved in, they bought a new house.
Right.
Most of them have never gone past Sycamore, going south, because they wake up and they do life. They go to work and drive to Dallas or wherever they're going back and forth. So, but again, we get down to where the voting turnout is 7-8%.
Yeah,
it was kind of sad.
We knew if we as a newspaper or a media company knew how to correct that, we'd bottle it and sell it across the country, because it's traditionally everywhere low turnout, and it drives me insane. The turnout is what makes the difference, and it's interesting whether it's here or anyplace else, including nationally. But when a candidate may say, when there's a candidate will say, I've been voted in by the people. Well, that is true. It's a little bit of semantics, but a small percentage of the people that vote somebody in is not necessarily a referendum on anything. And so turnout, short of having a voter mobile that goes around town and lets people come outside their house and vote.
May get one of those.
Yeah, we may one of these days, but it's incredible the low turnout of voters who are putting at risk the very thing that they then say is important to them, taxes and infrastructure.
The school board the same way, though. To get on the school board, it's 1,100, 1,200 votes.
Yeah.
Get on city council, 11, 12,
Yeah, of a
1,300.
community of what,
22,000
voters?
registered
Yeah,
voters.
22, 24, something.
Yeah,
So
so,
it's incredible.
yeah, and I mean, you'll get more complaints than votes.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and you wonder why. I
no
mean,
doubt. I agree.
Yeah, you have plenty of time to get out and vote.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. We'll make sure everybody knows early voting and where the voting stations are and our polling locations are, that sort of thing. So it will be here before we know it. All right, so here we are. When folks see this, it'll be the day after Thanksgiving. We hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Hope the Cowboys won. I mean, Cowboys need to decide whether or not they're going to play football or lay an egg. I mean, 2 weeks ago they beat the Falcons 43-3. Last week we could have lined up and beat the Cowboys probably. But anyway, so hope everybody had a great one and enjoyed their family. But what to you, somebody that's been here a long time and is very involved in the city, very committed to the city, what does Thanksgiving in Waxahachie mean?
I got a Facebook post from Perry Giles
Yeah.
about George Washington's Declaration of Thanksgiving. Most people have read it, or they've read the title. I think it was 1793 or somewhere along in there when he declared.
It was in the 1790s, I know that.
Yeah, a declaration for Thanksgiving. But George said it wasn't about everything that you've got. It was about who provided it.
Yeah.
And I think we made a turn someplace, and rarely do you hear people thanking God for His sovereignty and providing a country with the foundation that we have.
Yeah.
So even without that, that's I always reflect on that. And why did the Pilgrims do what they did? Why do we eat what we eat? And what is it symbolic of? But that's where I am. I know everybody. I'm thinking about football games too because that's what we do, right? We eat turkey, pecan pie, and stuff like that, and get fat for about 10 minutes. Then we lay down and watch TV.
Yeah.
And rarely do we just. We used to go around the table when I was a kid and ask what we were thankful for.
Right.
And my grandfather was a deacon in the Baptist church, so when Grandpa talked, everybody listened.
Yeah.
But he would go around and just say thankful for his family, for his kids, for his wife. And I'm not sure if we still do that. I've been places where they don't. They just I mean they don't even talk about why we have Thanksgiving. They just say it's another holiday.
Yeah.
People say, is it going to be a paid holiday?
Yeah.
Will we get paid for it? How many days do we get off?
Right.
So we're trying to figure our free time, but not really what the time is really about.
Yeah, and then today.
But the same with Christmas as well.
Exactly.
It just carries on. What's
It
the
does.
reason for the season?
It does. I was admitting to somebody the other day that my family has evolved to a place where we might as well just admit that it's become a commercial, material-focused giving party. And we are a spiritual family. We love Jesus. We don't need Christmas to make it any more spiritual for us. But it has evolved to gifts everywhere and insanity. You know, today is, I wonder what, I don't know when Black Friday was invented or labeled or came along, but it used to be that it was just on Friday. Now stores are open Thursday afternoon into the night through 24 hours, whatever. It's crazy. But I wonder what the Pilgrims could see what Thursday and Friday is today, how mortified they might be at what has happened. But today, that people, as this is being aired, people are out beating each other up or jostling to get the latest, greatest. I mean, I will say that I want one of those Oculus virtual headsets so that I can maybe work out and have some fun in my own house. But I do want one. Y'all don't look at me crazy. I'm getting one too. I am. I might invite you over and play tennis.
Everything I see, I want. That's our nature, right?
Yeah.
But I don't need anything. I want it. I mean, I've got 4 or 5 chainsaws, and they're all lined up, and I only use one.
Yeah.
But if I ever need the other 4, I've got them. And Mickey always asks me, I said it's redundancy. It's what we do. We have to be prepared. So I've got a generator in my motor home. I've got 2 in the garage, in my shop, and 1 in my other garage just in case. The other 2 don't start, and the one motorhome doesn't start. So again, I just need it.
Well, I mean,
This is the funny thing, and I know we're not gonna run over time, but I was pulling tools out from underneath my table in my shop, and the cords have already deteriorated. Brand new stuff. I mean, it's still, some of it's still in the box. So I was in another other garage, and I've got 2 gang boxes in there. Never could remember why I had them, or what was in them. So finally I got that thing cleared out the other day. I got 2 loads of trash to haul off stuff I've been saving, thinking I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
So I opened up a gang box, and in the gang box there's a compressor, there's a generator that came from Houston. So this is 15 years ago. This stuff came up here, and I've had it locked up in a gang box. Lost the key to the gang box, had to burn the lock off of it. And so you just gather all this junk.
Yeah, I know.
And so I got a trailer with all the stuff in it from a garage sale. Mickey said you can finally take it to some place and give it to them. I took it to 2 places and said we don't want it. That hurts my feelings because, see, I've saved this for 20 years, and it's been in that trailer. The tires are dry rotted on the trailer.
You hand that to a millennial, and they'll say, "What in the world is this?"
Well, I'm serious. There are things in there. I mean, the can openers and the one, I mean, it's not even electric, and people would look at it and try to figure that stuff out.
I mean, show it to Jackson. Show Jackson a Walkman. He's like, "What in the world?"
Yeah. I've still got my Panasonic bag telephone, and then several flip phones that came up from the 70s and 80s. I've still got those things, and they're in a box. And someday somebody will dig them up and look at them, and they'll just toss them. Yeah. But to me, it tells a story
it does.
about a man named Jeb.
It does. There's intervention for that. I mean, I'm with you. I got a thing for shirts, and I don't, in my closet, honestly, I mean, my wife last week asked me to clean out my closet of things I was willing to forego. I filled up 2 big, I mean, the big, giant, leaf size garbage bags full of shirts, just shirts. And she took them to some place, and I still don't have room in my, and frankly, if I'd stay off social networks, social media, I wouldn't be tempted. But, it is true. I mean, I read a stat not long ago that the average home size has increased by 45%, while the average family has decreased in size. That tells you something, that the house is bigger to hold all the stuff we've got, but there's less people living in the house. My column this week is about, you're going to think I'm nuts, but one of my places I want to go, Barrow, Alaska, which is actually called something different now, and I can't pronounce it, but it's Barrow, most northern city in the United States. 5,000 people live there. The average temperature, the average high in July is 42. The average high in February is minus 11. Today, it's minus 9 or minus 2 is the high. You can't grow grass there.
Good.
There's a permanent frost of thick dirt. Polar bears run around like dogs there. A bag of groceries, by example, as I put in my column, a 30-roll pack of toilet paper is $45. Gallon of milk is 11. Box of cereal is 10. The food has to be flown into Barrow. There are no roads that connect Barrow to the rest of Alaska. Yet more people move there every year than move away. And they're not all indigenous, Eskimo, Native Indian. There are folks like me and you that are up there. They got a thriving high school.
Not like me, but.
Well, no, true. But I do want to go there. Their football field, as I put in the column, their football field until 2007 was dirt and crushed rock. Painted stripes on, like a football field, but it's dirt and crushed rock. And then a group of donors put them a field, just like Lumpkins, put them a field, just the field, nothing else. So you look at down on Barrow, all you see is it's a blue field with yellow end zones. It is literally, it's closer to the Arctic Ocean than that railroad track is to us here. So they play in frigid, and their nearest opponent is 500 miles away.
Wow.
And yet more people move there very few people move out. Those people, my point of all this is that those people are obviously happy about something and enjoy being there. My assumption is, although I've never met anybody from there, is that it's their family, their traditions, their lack of need for things that you and I are just now talking about, and they really believe in love the joy that they get from just having a simple life. I mean, it's incredible.
They may not know that there's anything else out
They
there.
do know. Matter of fact, because the people from the mainland, if you will, move there and tell them.
Yeah.
But right now, sometime 2 weeks ago through the end of January, it's 24/7 dark. The sun does not shine. The only light they get is through stars and the moon in terms of natural light. Obviously, they have lights, but and then in the summertime, it's for 2 months, it's total sunlight 24/7. So they have to put foil on their windows, and I mean, it's incredible. But more people are moving there than leave.
Wow.
And I make the argument that on Thanksgiving, those people probably celebrate what George Washington wrote about.
Yeah. Can you get a turkey there?
You may, but
that'd
you're
be the
going to pay.
question.
You're going to pay if you're paying $10 for a box of cereal. A turkey's going to cost you an arm and a leg, so to speak.
I heard a turkey was only up $1 more this year.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's what the president.
I felt better.
Yeah, it only costs. She said it only costs $1 more. Well, she can bite me as far as I'm concerned. That's the percentage of increase in turkeys this year is 41%.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, 41%.
All I know is I went to H-E-B and it had a sign there that said you can buy one turkey if you want to. It's going to cost you $1.50 or $1.48 a pound for the second one extra, whatever. So
Yeah.
I bought the 22-pounder and ran out, and I figured it's just two of us eating.
Well, y'all be eating that forever.
No, not really. Well, I love turkey.
Yeah, turkey is good.
So, but you know, we live in a fairly good sized house, and there's two of us. Mickey weighs 120 pounds, so she doesn't need space. I'm a little bit heavier than that. I don't need as much space as I got. We have rooms that are just closed, and sometimes we'll look in there to see, you know, if anybody's moved in that we don't know about.
Yeah, that's what cracks
Because
me
it
up.
could happen.
I mean, I see these multi-zillionaires that buy these 30,000 square foot homes. And I'm thinking, what percentage of that home is never visited by anybody? Why does LeBron James? He can do what he wants. I don't care. But why does he need 30,000? That 10,000 square feet that's way down there, that's got the bowling alley. Maybe they put the bowling alley there. But that room, that's palatial. My guess isn't. I mean, unless he has his whatever.
I've seen and why we would put a bowling alley in, he doesn't bowl.
Yeah, well.
I mean, so, and you got to screen people that come over to see you.
See, my answer to that is just that Oculus thing. Because
Yeah.
you can put that thing on your head, and you got two little...
New world.
And you bowl like you're in a bowling alley. You've seen the virtual reality, people falling down like they're falling off a cliff, but they're running into the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hilarious, but it's got to be fun.
Yeah. I got a psych ward like
We're going to
that.
have it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it on... We should do it on Sunspot.
Yeah.
Just show people what virtual reality can do for physical, if you're getting older, physical... I'm not kidding.
Yeah, sounds like
So anyway, Thanksgiving...
serious.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is about
It's about being thankful,
us, people, God.
recognizing who provided what you have.
I agree. Okay, well, that's it for Sunspot this week. Want to share with you two more things real quick. Next week, the plan is to have John Wiedemann back on the show. John is the father of Ollie Wiedemann, who in August of 2019 was murdered by his mother in a murder-suicide here in Waxahachie atop the parking garage at the courthouse. Courthouse, and really took the nation by storm, so to speak. And John and Ollie have a story to tell. John has chosen us to tell that story and or be the conduit through which he tells the story. So we will have John on, and it won't be the last time because there's a whole lot to it. The story involves some things that will frankly stun you, amaze you. You won't believe. As long as John wants to, and this is really John's call, but there are 911 calls that we may share with you. There are videos that we may share with you. But it's all about allowing a man who lost his son in the worst imaginable way at 6 years old, Ollie passed away, and allowing him to tell their story. So that's the plan for next week. We'll have more about that coming up in the Sun and on our digital platforms, but wanted to let you know about that. And then with respect to Thanksgiving, we just, from the Sun, our hearts to yours, including our brand Ellis Down Home and Ellis County Weather, thank you for supporting us, for being part of our family. It means a lot to us. Really, we wouldn't be able to survive what is a tough media industry climate. We wouldn't be able to do it without you, and hope that you'll continue to support us. So we hope you had a great Thanksgiving, but we want you to know how much we're thankful for you. So anything else, David?
I think that's it.
Okay. With that, Scott Brooks for David Hill signing off on Sunspot. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.